All right, folks. Chocolate Yoddah here, spelled Yoddah, because film studios are litigious. And today is Saturday, October 19th, 2024. I know this because the internet has told me so. Oh man, I forgot to change the title to this. Pardon me. I wanted to say something about Dump being cooked, because it appears that he is done in this race. Let's see. Donnie Dump is in bad shape. I know the polls make it look like it's even, but those polls are extremely deceptive. Extremely. Some of the things that they're doing with polling is that they're leaving out chunks of the data. I mean, it's so ridiculous. Like Pennsylvania was polled by a right-wing pollster and left out, pardon me, damn it, and left out all of the information from Philadelphia. There's the first silly comment from Timber Williams. Dump 2024, yeah, for prison. Oh, thank you for the hearts. I mean, it's really, haha, do be, says Yoda Meister. That's funny. Never heard that one before. That's good. What's up, Doobie? Hope everything is good in your world, in the big GA, the ATL. So, as I was saying, these polls are very deceptive because you see that like the polling sometimes is 3 weeks behind, or it leaves out a big demographic. Like leaving out Philadelphia from a Pennsylvania poll is insane. It's a Democratic stronghold, so that obviously skewed the number more Republican. So it looks like a close race in Pennsylvania, and I'm sure that's going on in other places. But the biggest thing, the biggest reason why the polls are inaccurate. Hold on, let's see. We've got Donnell Shaw round one of Clash of the Bribes has ended. War of the Intellect is on the way. I'm not sure what either one of those mean, but if you want to come up and explain that, I'd be very interested in hearing about that. Bribes, intellect, it's all very intriguing. So, by the way, Doobie, if you want to come up as a guest, feel free. Just mind your TikTok friendly language. But I haven't spoken to you in a minute, so it would be fun to catch up. No, it's the news that makes Kamala close to Donald Trump. I don't know what that means exactly. Who said that? Laurel M. Mahoney. Something 63 Bling Queen. So, Laurel, please come up and explain that. Normally, when I have mangas come up, they don't say anything accurate or interesting or even intelligent. It's rare, it happens, but it's the exception rather than the rule. I didn't mention this up front, but please tap that screen. Give me those likes. It's important for the algorithm. What I like to do whenever I'm listening to a live, I come on and the first thing I do is I tap the screen for like 10 seconds as fast as I can. Usually results in, about 100 likes or something like that. But, it's a fun thing to do. Tap, 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 tap. I'm not actually sure what all of these gifts and that mean. I'm just getting into learning more about lives and how to monetize and all that stuff. Um, you know, I'm going to start coming on more often next week. TB12, hello, how you doing? Let's see. You should go up and debate him if you believe this. She said she was told. Okay. And I'm still not sure what you were told, Laurel. So, come up right next to the comment section, the little box to leave comments is an icon of a red person and a blue person side by side that says guests. You can click on that. Hey, are you going to go live on election day? I haven't thought of that. I don't know. I mean, maybe. Um, I have a feeling election day is going to be a swamp. Just early voting. Even though early voting normally favors Democrats, the numbers of early voting have exploded the numbers from 2020. Even if you're just counting Democrats, it's like 3 times more in some cases, usually at least twice as many. But I mean, it's crazy how many people are going out, and early voting is key. Leaves them. Uh, she is done after Jesus comments yesterday. My opinion, big mistake. I don't know what that is, Phil. You think that one comment she made that you probably didn't quite understand is going to throw her completely off? I mean, look at all the horrible things that this week Dump was saying that he would unleash the US military against American citizens. Why isn't he done? It should be all same day voting. It hasn't been all same day voting since the Civil War, I think. So why should it be that? They gonna cheat again? Oh, so Eric, you're one of the MAGA hats that I just adore because you're lost in the woods and don't know it. I mean, for you to almost 4 years later still be claiming that the election was stolen is just a testament to a severely limited intellect. I mean, really? Stephen 70 says Kamala Harris will be the next president of America. You wrote United States. I always call it America. But anyway, um, yeah, I believe that. I mean, every indication is that Phil, yes, was a big mistake. I don't know. I don't know what you're saying. She already lost. Okay, sure. So again, feel free to come up. These people that are very active, Democrat cult member. That's hilarious. Yeah, because it was the Democrats who are ignoring a felon and a rapist and someone who undermined democracy and led an insurrection against America. Sure, at the capital of America. I mean, come on, man. Really, really, cult, cult of Democrats. That's hilarious. Yeah, or you probably live in a red state that gets money from a blue state, don't you? Who is that? Rich Lamar or Lamer. Lamer sounds right. Um, so Rich, that's a strong statement. Do you have what it takes to come up and debate? Probably not. You're dense if you don't think they cheated. Well, let's see. Over 60 cases, including I think 8 dump appointed judges, got dismissed because there was no evidence. Because here's the thing that happened. Dump's lawyers were all gung-ho to take his money, right? And they were like, yeah, let's go to court, let's go to court. And that means preparing, and that means retainers and money, right? But these lawyers were not stupid, right? So they got to court, and the judge asked a simple question: what is your evidence of fraud in the election? And the lawyers had to honestly say there was none, because if they lied and said there was evidence and it came out that there was no evidence, they would have lost their law licenses. So, with all the adjudication, with all of the people around Dump that were telling him that he lost, Why do you think that you're not the dense one, Eric? I bet you won't come up and defend that. Obama Clinton speaking hurt her, no show dinner, hurt interview, hurt she is done. Yeah, Phil, I don't think you know what reality is. I think you are divorced from reality. Love My Boy says she is embarrassing only to weirdos. Military takes an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Yes, but the military has never been used on American soil because that's not what the military is for. She will destroy us. Love My Boys. Yeah. And let me see. What did Dump say in 2020 when he was running against Biden? If he gets elected, the stock market will crash. And I believe it's hit 20 all time high records. Or no, I think it's 100 all time high records in the last almost 4 years. So, all the doom and gloom, um, all the doom and gloom that the right always indulges in. Oh, the sky is falling. The brown people are coming to get you. All that nonsense. It never comes to pass, does it? Never ever comes to pass. And things continue to get better under Democratic government, which it always does. If you look at the entire history, especially from like the 30s on, it's always better. Look at the numbers. Yeah, I know that MAGA hats are immune to facts. Aaron with tours, whatever that is. Aaron with two R's. That's very uh, clever. Yeah, if you understand facts and how to read and how to comprehend what you read, and you just read history, right? History is written, right? All of the performances of all of the administrations have been recorded, right? And Uh, Proud Nana says everyone needs to go see the Apprentice movie. I mean, I don't need to see it since I lived it. I'm a New Yorker, so I know all about Dump. I've known about him since the 70s and know what a loser he is. Um, but, and, racist, misogynist, rapist. Just he's an awful human being. He's a cheat. He's a fraud. He's a liar. And the courts are proving this, right? But MAGA hats no matter what evidence you present them, it doesn't matter because they're immune to facts. They've had office 16 out of the last 20 years and it's gotten bad. Yeah, it got bad because, Eric, I know you don't understand economics, but I'm going to speak to everybody else here that does. It got bad because it only takes the stroke of a pen to ruin an economy and it takes years to rebuild it. Okay. So what Dump did with his tax act of 2017 is gutted the economy. He screwed middle class people. He faked you out with a tiny reduction in your taxes, but every year of the 8-year plan put, increased taxes, and he also put an $8 trillion hole in the debt, right? Which is 25% of all the debt. So let's think about that for a second with our adult logic. There were 236 years and 44 presidents before Dump squatted in the White House, and they are all responsible for 75% of the debt combined. 44 administrations over 236 years combined make up 75% of the debt, and 25% of that debt is Donnie Dump in 4 years. Okay, so all the high prices that you're complaining about, he did that. Look at the things that he did while in office. The Tax Act is the big one. The tariff was another one. All of that hurt the middle class. All of that raised prices. He convinced oil producing countries to cut production by 20%, right? All of these things added to the expenses that you're complaining about now, but you're not intelligent enough to understand that. Let's see. Kansas flamingo chef says something completely uninteresting. Facts, he puts in quotes. Liberal word for bow to your government masters. What a bizarre thing to say. But if you want to come up and explain it, from Kansas Flamingo, another one that's very active in the chats, false one word answers that mean nothing. Spewing NPC talking point. Do you mean NPR or I don't, who's NPC? Lots of name calling for a life coach. I'm not a life coach. There's nothing in my bio that refers to me as a life coach. So, Aaron with two R's, you sound a little two R's because you can't read. Let's see, the courts of liberal corruption, and you put the word uh, courts in quotes. So you believe all courts are fake then? Yes, emotional management coach. What part of that says life coach? You freak. Tax Act did he did increased tax revenue. How could you lower taxes and increase tax revenue? That is ridiculous. Yeah, bruh, Eric Shun, as I'm sure your family has done to you. You bruh. You can't be that delusional to think dumps 4 years, messed up 16 years of Democratic. Why not? Bush did the same thing. You don't understand how the economy works. You don't understand reality. Make red hats cool again. It's embarrassing. Thanks for proving you know nothing about the economy. You have no adult logic. Well, Donald Oler, I bet you won't come up and straighten me out. I know you're all tough and strong in the comments, but I bet you won't come up and straighten me out. I mean, if you've got the guts to come up, that's one part of it, but I can't wait to hear all the ridiculous things you have to say about the economy because you're right. I don't have that much knowledge about the economy, but economists do. And even Dump's alma mater has said very clearly that his tax plan would his economic plan in total would be disastrous. It would increase inflation by 5 trillion. I believe the same economists that studied both said that hers would go up about 1 trillion and his 5 trillion. And we came close to a recession because of him. No, it didn't. Great, great comment. Okay, I don't know exactly what that means, but so Biden and the gang have been in office for over 50 years, but everything is Dump's fault. So you believe that President Biden has been president for 50 years? Okay, you're brilliant. That's a lie. These people make comments and they don't reference anything. What's a lie? Harris's economic plan is applauded by the top economist minds in the world. Yes, including Nobel laureates. And I mean, so far, I believe there's been 400 economists, and these are accredited economists, people who have been acknowledged as having, expertise in the economy. And it shows, her plan is good and his plan is not good. It's terrible. Why do you insist on insulting somebody? Because I enjoy it, Bubba Seth. I hope that answers your question. You all have a vendetta against Dump. You all believe what people tell you. No, I have a vendetta against Dump because of what he did and what I witnessed him do with my own eyes. I mean, over the time, even before he squatted in the White House, he was a terrible human being, in my opinion. But what he did hurt Americans. What he continues to do hurts Americans. All these people. See, here's how MAGA hats respond to facts. They go, and they think they've made a great point. That's not true. That's not true. What Daddy Dump told me is true. He said everything is bad. I'm not helping her win. Do I look like I'm on her campaign team? Oh, man. These comments are sillier than usual, but I understand. As you see Dump implode on public television and say crazy things and threaten his enemies and threaten American citizens and calls American citizens the enemy from within and threatens to jail them, threatens mass deportation, which is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. You know, he is talking like the same people who were talking in 1930s Germany. He's saying the same things they said, in some cases, using virtually the exact same language, like poisoning the blood. Immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. That is a direct quote from the Schmittler gang. And how about the fact that they still haven't went over there to help the hurricane people? What does that even mean? Every governor in every state that has been affected, and it's mostly Republican governors, have said that the Biden administration has done an excellent job of hurricane relief. So let me ask you something, Donnie Chevrier, whatever, however you say that. Donnie, should I believe your opinion about hurricane relief or the opinions of the Republican governors that are there experiencing the hurricane relief? Which one do you think let's think about that for a while. Let's not answer that right away. Let's think about it. The economic genius doesn't understand how money works. Kansas Flamingo Chef. See, you are all bluster, and you are too afraid to come up and debate because you know that all you have is, you know, wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. You don't have facts. Come up and tell me the facts. Explain to me how the economy works. Explain to me how money works. All right? And then explain why every economist that doesn't work for Fox, and even some of them are conceding these points, but every economist that is an accredited, recognized economist is saying that Dump's plan is bad. Why is that? You know more than them? Is that what it is? You're a joke. Are you asleep, bro? Why are your eyes closed? Oh, my eyes don't open very wide, but since I'm talking, I would assume I'm not asleep. Yeah, TB12, these people, you know how they are. They're just all bluster. They're not going to come up and debate. And even when they do, we've seen from my past lives, they've got nothing except, oh, you're wrong. You don't know anything. You're fat. You know, that's the stuff they have. They don't have anything. Oh, we got one coming up. Let's see. This ought to be interesting. Sean Mayer. Don't think I've seen your comments yet, but let's find out what's going to happen. Sean is coming on. I see you're there, Sean. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. For TikTok purposes, what is your age?
57.
Okay, and are you voting for the felon?
I'm voting for the only person that is reliable and honest enough to run this country, and yes, that would be Trump.
So you're voting for the felon, and you believe that a felon is reliable and honest?
I believe that Kamala Harris started her career in politics on her back, working for Heidi Fleiss.
Oh boy, another genius. So you believe that?
Oh yeah, I'm a genius.
So you believe that? So you believe that a woman who has been elected to several positions
The
in
woman
the
is a
largest state.
whore.
Shut up, I'm talking. Once I am done,
Fuck you.
as you see, you will have a chance to talk. If you don't have self-control, I will bounce you. So just
Bounce
wait,
me then,
and you just
motherfucker, because
wait,
you're an
and you will
idiot.
have a chance to talk. If you keep interrupting me, I will bounce you.
Fuck
Okay?
you.
What was that? Ah, look at that. See that? What did I tell you, folks? No brains, all bluster. Go dump, straight to prison. Chad Dunkel. Dunkel? Chad Dunkel. Go dump. Go dump. Oh boy. Let's see what do we got here. Then what? What hasn't worked in 4 years? Stagflation. Interesting. You're definitely not helping her win. Garcia, I don't know who you're talking to, but she doesn't need my help to win. She's doing just fine on her own. She's winning. Nothing I say here today will hurt her chances of winning. What a ridiculous thing to say. Oh boy. Let's see. Jim Collins, what? You don't think the past 3.5 years have been that great? She was part of it. I'm not sure who you're asking that to. Stop foreign aid. We need the money here. Who gave the money away? That's hilarious. It's so funny. MAGA hats are like, well, we got to help people in this country before we help someone else. And it's like, okay, so how about Medicaid, Medicare, WIC, welfare, school lunches? Oh, that's socialism. There's enough money to go around. I'm squeaking like I'm going through puberty. That's funny. There's a hint of panic in your voice. Okay, who are you talking to me? I'm panicking about what? You people are delusional, man. You really don't know anything. What's going on? Anyway. Do, 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 do. Democrats for dump. Morons for an idiot. He has done more for the black race than anyone you could name. No, he hasn't. And if you think that's true, go ahead and say, no, I'm not going to have co-hosts, but if you want to come up and be a guest, please do. Glenn Wyatt, please come up and explain what he has done for black people. He did almost nothing. Are you talking about 300 million to HSBCs when uh, Biden did, I believe it was 16 billion? Is that what you're referring to? You sound like with you view. Garcia, that's what you wrote. You sound like with you view. I hope that that's a typo, because otherwise you got problems. First step act dump, platinum plan dump. Okay. View, that's you. They shouldn't be opinions of the governors. They should be the facts of the governors. Oh, Garcia, that is so lame. Yes, the governors are telling you, they're telling America that the Biden administration did a great job with hurricane relief. So what else do you need to know? Why aren't you intelligent enough to know that that is the fact? The fact is the governors are telling us what they have experienced. And the fact that you're saying something different means that you don't understand what facts are. How about you think? Learn before you speak. Liar. There are no every. Okay. As are you. Go to bed. First step, act dump. Platinum plan again with this. Justin B seems to have a little problem. Dump 2024 for prison. Dump 2024 for prison. Let's see. I'm voting for the felon. Of course you are, because you're a craven person. You have no soul. Kamala will hold the wall and flip Georgia minimum. MAGA isn't prepared. Yeah. That seems like the case, Gru, Gru. Um, he's not a felon, but you don't know shite. Well, see, for you, Eddie Martin, um, I can tell that you don't really have a lot of facility, because to say he's not a felon, that just means that you are either delusional or woefully ignorant about what has happened this year to Donnie Dump. He was convicted of 34 counts of felonies. Okay? 34 felony counts. He was convicted by a jury after being indicted by a grand jury. Okay? And the jury was picked out by both his lawyers and the prosecutors. And they all unanimously came back and said that he was guilty, because it had to be unanimous for it to be a conviction. And so for you to say he's not a felon means that there is really something wrong with you, Eddie Martin. Sean thinks he's a tough guy. Yeah, you are clueless, blocked. Okay, Adapt. So sorry to see you go. A vote for Kamala will keep you on the Democratic plantation. Oh, that sounds like a racist kind of thing. Jake Lavie, what is it? J.K. Lavoie, J.K. Lavoie, J.K. Labai. She's not winning. Ugh. You're childish. You mean Youre childish? Your childish mocking voices show your education level for sure. So you're saying that educated people don't mock other people? That's a weird thing to say. What's your proof of that? You have none. Garcia, look, here's the problem. You won't come up and talk because you have nothing to say. Everything you've written down so far as comments has just been inane, childish, witless, factless. You don't know anything. Do another voice. Maybe. How about 40 to 80 million going every week to Afghanistan? How about it? What's the context of that? If that's even true, what is the context of that? You're scared. Do you mean Youre? YOU apostrophe RE? Frankie 0315? Do you not know how to write in English? I bought a bag of candy for trick-or-treaters. It was $40 a bag. Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing your experience. Kamala is smashing early votes in PA and Georgia. She's on the path to win right now. That is correct, Guru. That's inflation. Why are you scared? Why is who scared? Doobie, do you see this nonsense? It's just amazing. So, whistleblower reports this been going on since 2021. Not sure what that is. Are you Indian also? I don't know what that means, but if you're talking about race, what does that mean? You're probably a racist. North Carolina Democrats are coming out in big numbers and voting for Dump. I bet you don't have facts to support that. Bonita Smith Newton, please show me your source for that, and not with, I'mRightBro.com. Kamala Sean Diddy Combs. Oh, that's so clever, Frankie. Did you think of that all by yourself? Frankie, you thought it in your head and you wrote it down and hit enter. Kamala Sean Diddy Combs. That's so clever. Oh, what a bright boy you are. Oh, my. Or did you phone a friend? Maybe you phoned a friend to work that out. I know it's only 4 words, but you had to put them in the right order. What does it mean? He hasn't done anything for anyone but himself. I'm guessing you're referring to Donnie Dump, and if you are, Marianne, I agree with you. Lots of hearts. According to the people I've talked to in that area, it is very true. So wait, Bonita Smith Newton, you took a poll of early voters, and you made a control group, and you you made correlations, and you divided up the. Oh, people, the MAGA hats are immune to facts, folks. This is what it is. MAGA hats are immune to facts. That's hilarious. I talked to people there. That's what they said. Oh my God. Weird, because there is zero firsthand data that back up what you're saying. Yeah, no, Bonita is in a world by herself. It's the voices in her head that are coming through. Kamala made fun of Christians at her rally, even told them they were at the wrong rally. Yeah, so? So what? Bonita, so what? I saw the clip. She made fun of them because they were being disruptive like the children that they were, and she shut them down. It was hilarious. It was one of her best moments. You think that hurt her? That's hilarious. Okay, so glad we get to look up his nose. Well, no one's forcing you to be here looking at my beautiful nose. That's great. Makes me like her even more. Yeah. Yeah, TB12. I love that. I love that clip. When I saw her, I laughed. I was like, what a great line. The plantation is something that you initiated a few minutes ago. Oh, that's brilliant. More from Garcia. See, this is Garcia is one of these people just completely lost in space, completely clueless, won't come up and explain the ridiculous things that they're saying, because they know that if they have to defend this nonsense, they can't. That's why, I mean, I've seen it over and over again. I've been watching lives for, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 months now. And so I've caught probably a couple hundred of them at this point. And it just amazes me how MAGAs will be in the comments, oh, you're wrong, you don't know anything. And then they get up and they're like, what? Well, I heard that 20 gazillion people are coming in every day, and they're taking your pew-pews, and they're gonna take your jobs, and they're coming to get you. They're riding in caravans, and the caravans are full of unicorns, and Dump is my daddy. I know when somebody is mocking somebody else's voice is in an impression they concede to have lost. Do you know that? Oh, really? That's interesting. Garcia, what you know couldn't fill up a thimble. My children mock each other's voice the way you do. Yeah, I'm being childish on purpose. I guess you don't understand how that works. How can you vote for a devil? Well, I'm not voting for a devil. I'm voting for Kamala Harris. The judge told the jury, said, if you think he's guilty on anything, convict on all. That's a gross oversimplification. Basically, what it was there had to be, because all right, the payment, everyone was referring to that case as the hush money case. But that was wrong. That was just newspapers doing what newspapers do, right? They make headlines, and those headlines don't necessarily reflect the truth of the situation, right? So when you saw the hush money case, right, the hush money case, you are led to believe that paying hush money is illegal, but it isn't. Let's say there are two parties. One party has damaging information about the second party. The second party can turn to the first party and say, I will pay you money if you do not release that information. And the first person can accept that money. That is legal. It is not illegal to do that. It was never a hush money case. If you look on the first page of the court documents, which I did, which explains what the charges are, hush money was never included in that. It was falsifying business records. That was the first charge. Election interference was the underlying charge, and campaign finance laws were another underlying charge. And basically, the business records stuff, that's a misdemeanor. When you falsify business records in New York, that is a misdemeanor, unless there is an underlying crime attached to it. Then it becomes a felony. So what the judge said is, if you find that the other things that he did were underlying crimes, it doesn't matter which one it is, because there were three to choose from. As long as you thought that one of those crimes were committed, then this becomes a felony. That's what the instruction was. But I know you don't know that because you probably don't read. Let's see. I'm way behind in these comments. I'm not going to read. It's her clear critical thinking. It's clear critical thinking isn't your strong suit. Maybe, but thinking isn't yours at all. Yeah. Yeah, TB12, thank you for encouraging people to come up and debate me. As you notice, they usually don't. And when they do, they act like children. Your blue party is over. What blue party? Ba, 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 ba. Let's see. Do, 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 do. Where is your pink hair? I don't know what that means. 3 times, 4 times, 5 times in a row, Garcia wrote, "Where is your pink hair?" Oof. What was they saying to her? Bonita says, "I didn't take a pill. I spoke with North Carolina residents as I was there delivering supplies." Well, look at that. That's scientific. Look at that. Look at that scientific poll that Bonita Smith Newton took. She spoke to some people that lived in North Carolina, so she knows what's happening in the entire state. She knows. That's brilliant. Real Christians do not act like that. They were no Christians. Yeah, I'd love for you to tell me how real Christians act, but debate him, stop hiding. No, Garcia family one is not debating. I mean, even if they come up here, you already know what it's going to be, right? It's going to be ridiculous. So Jesus is Lord is something funny to you? I don't know what that means. Kamala losing Catholic votes to the guy who essayed a woman proves hypocrisy. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at this point, the Catholic Church has pretty much zero credibility. You know, they talk about family. Here's a guy that cheated on all three of his wives, paid a corn star to stay silent about their affair while he was simultaneously cheating on an adult model. I think either Penthouse or Playboy. And it's funny how people don't talk about Karen McDougal. She actually got more money. She got 150,000 to Stormy Daniels' 130,000. Keep parroting the leftist talking points. Thank you, Mike. Um, I bet you don't have any of your own talking points. I bet you don't really know anything. Okay, here's Garcia. Are you Indian as well? Are you Indian as well? Are you Indian as well? 3 times in a row. So, Garcia, since you're not going to come up and you're just really on the verge of Rashism, I am going to get rid of you. Okay. There we go. No one is perfect, including Kamala Harris. That is a truism. People like that represent us so badly. Republicans are better than that, I promise. Well, I mean, this isn't a question really. This whole uh, Hatfield McCoy, you know, pitting one team against the other nonsense. It's why I'm a registered independent. I don't care about all of that stuff because it's almost meaningless. People vote the way they vote because they think it's the best thing to do, right? That's what motivates everyone who's voting. That's what motivates their decision, right? I choose this person because I think that's the best choice. Doesn't mean they're evil. Whoops. Doesn't mean they're evil. Um, doesn't mean anything, right? It just means that they've made a choice. However, when you get past that point and you say, all right, what choice are you making? And you look at people who say they're for family, right? Whether it's the Republican Party that brands itself the party of family, or you say you're for law enforcement, which the Republican Party says they are for law enforcement. And then you see that the person that they're choosing is completely contrary to the values that they state. That's hypocritical and it's incongruent and it's bizarre. And then when you see that this person actually caused a lot of harm, including the unaliving of people because of his completely disastrous handling of C-19, then you start to go, well, wait a second. There's something more than just a political choice here. You know, it's the same people that supported Schmittler in the 30s and every other dictator that has come since. You know, you've got to get to a point where you realize what your choice means. It's not just, oh, we're going to, oh my God, Davison, Dump had America prospering in 2016 to 2020. So that means that you have no clue about facts because history has been written and recorded, and we know that that statement is preposterous. For starters, Obama built up the economy for 8 years after Bushy Boy ruined it, and he was and Dump strode into a brilliant economy. Oh, there's a guest. So you really don't know anything, Davison. You really don't. TP12, come on up. My throat is very dry today. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? 47 years old, by the way.
God, happy
Thank you.
birthday,
Thank you.
man.
No, I was saying that because you always ask the people's age, so I got it out of the way.
Nice.
But listen, I just want to say real quick, and then I'm going to hop off. I want to just point out the hypocrisy in the media, and just how everything is slanted towards Trump. So we go back to the debate Biden had. Biden had a bad debate. There's no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
Every single medium called for him to drop out of the race. That he could not be he could not do another 4 years, and that he had dementia and blah blah blah. Has anybody been watching Trump lately?
Oh
He
man.
can't speak. He had a what do they call that? Sundowning. He
Yeah.
had a sundowning episode. He swayed to and hummed to music in an awkward moment in Detroit, I believe it was. He looks horrible. He looks exhausted. He just he can't even he doesn't even know the words. All he does is ramble. And they don't you don't see that being covered. It's just so I'm just so sick of the hypocrisy that goes
Yeah.
on, and just how he can't do anything wrong. So it's like I'm reading the comments here, and they say that Kamala said this horrible thing about or made up this thing about Catholics, right? So she can say something and it can end her campaign. But
Right.
this guy
Right.
can just do everything, and nothing affects him. It's just really
Right.
incredible. Thank you for having me on. I'm gonna hop off.
All right, brother. Thanks for coming up. And someone else wants to come in. Alvaro Cano. Pardon me. I can't get rid of this thing in my throat. Alvano or Alvano? How do you say your first name?
Alvaro.
Alvaro. Sorry that I
Oh, no, you're fine.
even
No.
with my glasses I can't see that well. Alvaro, for the purposes of TikTok, how old are you?
So I'm 40 years old. I apologize. I'll be 41 here in a few weeks.
Well, so you're 40.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And are you voting for the convicted felon?
I'm not sure just yet, and that's why I had requested
Wow,
to
that's
speak with you just
interesting.
to.
So, so what more does Dump have to do to demonstrate that he's a disaster for America?
I don't. As I'm looking at it right now, I'm not only looking at one side, right? Because there's two people in the race.
Okay, but I asked you a question, so let's focus on
Yeah,
that.
let me, if I can finish my thought.
We see what he's done.
Uh-huh.
We have his history recorded, right? So has he done anything to suggest that he is qualified to be president of America?
Again, that's why I said I'm looking at both sides, because we have to look at
Please just answer the
Kamala's as
question.
well.
I will get to both sides.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
is a conversation, right? You brought up an idea, and I asked you a question about the idea that you brought up. So please just answer the question.
Have I seen anything from Trump that makes me think he is
Qualified.
qualified? Okay, good word. Qualified to be president. And are you asking for policies? Because that stuff
I am not
always
asking for policies. That's why I
just
didn't use that
overall my
word.
overall.
What have you in your mind? This is gotten way more complicated than it needs to be. It's
No,
really a
I just
simple
want to make sure,
question.
because I don't want to.
Don't worry about it. Just answer, and if your answer is vague, I will ask a better question. So please just answer the
That's fair.
question.
I would say him. What was his first term? 2017
Correct.
to 2021.
Correct.
Okay. If I go off of that alone, I would say he's capable. I don't know if it's qualified though.
Well,
That's why
okay. So what did he do that showed you he was capable?
I liked how he helped change a lot of things within the VA for veterans.
He did do
He
good things
changed
for
a lot of.
veterans. I agree
Yeah,
with you on that.
that was cool. Like I didn't.
But you realize veterans are a tiny percentage of the population, right?
Oh, correct.
Okay.
And me being, I was in the military during his presidency.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't. I was like down the mat. Didn't care for or like him as president. I wasn't really following all of that during that time. But when I think of something that is qualified, that's different than I think what he did good. Not good. Something that I saw that I was like, oh, okay, cool. So that was.
So he did one good
right?
thing for. So let me ask
Correct.
you this. With regard to veterans, the fact that he's a draft dodger, the fact that he referred to John McCain as not being a hero because he was captured, the fact that he refers to fallen soldiers as suckers and losers, the fact that just about every high general and colonel and all that stuff in the military has said he's a threat to democracy. Don't you think that's more significant than the one bill that he passed that helped veterans?
The suckers and losers things. I've heard that. What was he? Have you seen like the full thing of that?
Yes.
His full video, yeah. And you for sure know that he said suckers and losers.
Yeah, a 4-star general who's also a Gold Star family member because he lost his son in the military has attested to that. And it looks like you're trying to look something up, Alvaro, or something. Somehow you are paused. I don't know why.
There we go. My screen switched over.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah, no problem.
There we
So
go.
so yeah, so you
I
had
heard.
a
Yeah.
situation where Dump has a history of lying. We know that he's an inveterate liar, and we know
Mhm.
that this 4-star general is a man who is well respected in all areas of life. So I'm going to take the word of a 4-star general. All right. I'm going to take the word of another general, General Milley, who said that Dump is a fascist straight out, and he's a
Mhm.
threat to democracy. I'm going to
Okay.
take the word of Mike Pence, who worked with him side by side for 4 years. So again, I could rattle off a lot of things, but I don't want to do that. I want to understand your I'm going to call it inability, but that's not the word I really mean. Uh, right now, you don't seem to have taken in who Donnie Dump is. And it's not just the 4 years that he was squatting in the White House. Oh, sorry. Here's Bugs Bunny. Another one saying I'm getting paid $1,500 to badmouth him. This happens every live. Someone
Yeah,
accuses me of
that's
getting paid.
crazy.
It's so silly. Anyway,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
so let's ignore all of his horrendous personal history before 2015. And it is horrendous. Okay. Uh, let's just start from the day he came down the escalators and announced that he wanted to be president and said all those horrible things about Mexicans, Muslims, and immigrants. So from that moment forward to today, the entirety of everything you've seen about him, unless you are not engaged at all, how do you look at all of the horrible things he has done and said and the horrible ways he has harmed Americans and think that he is qualified to be president?
Mm. There. Wait, the Mexican. What doesn't matter. I don't even care about that part. The what he did. So there's the VA that he did do. I know he tried building a wall, right?
Which was a
But
joke.
there was a lot
457
of
miles of wall, 400 of that was repairs. 57 was new wall. Mexico didn't pay for it. He had 4 years to do it, didn't do it. I mean, come on,
which,
really?
in all honesty, I think I was reading on the Border Patrol website because I was because he said he was going to build thousands of
The border
miles,
is
I believe,
3,000
right?
miles long almost. I think it's
Yeah,
2,995 miles. And by the
something like that.
way,
Yeah.
let's just deconstruct this immigration thing for a moment. And I promise you, we will finish this conversation. But I want to. Someone else is waiting to come up. Hold on. Let's see. Let me bring EJG up. I want to make a point about immigration and the wall. EJG, just for the purposes of TikTok, how old are you?
I'm 40.
Excellent. Hang tight. We're going to get to you in a moment. I'm just speaking with Alvaro about this one topic of immigration. Okay. For starters, the wall is a silly idea. Okay. I understand that there have to be barricades in certain places, but the idea that a wall is going to be the solution to immigration is absolutely ridiculous. Okay. Um, China built a wall that is the only man made structure on planet Earth that you can see from outer space. And that wall didn't help China. You know why? If you build a 30-foot wall, people build 31-foot ladders. If you build 50-foot walls, people build 51-foot ladders. Okay. And this idea that a wall will prevent immigration is silly. Most people that are here illegally first got here legally and didn't go back when their visas ran out. And most people that come here by plane, and the southern border is only one border. We have a northern border also. No one's talking about that because we know why, because that's where the YT people come from. But you are made to be afraid of brown people and people keep talking about this as if it's a real threat. It's not. It's an issue. The border is an issue, but the border, EJG, chill out, man. Chill out. We're going to get to you. We're going to get to you.
I
All
think he
right.
just fell. No, I think he's talking to somebody in the
Oh,
No,
background.
okay.
I'm just.
So,
Uh,
all right. I
I'm
will.
not.
Yeah, sorry,
Hopefully, I won't
that
have.
that cut the.
Hold on. Hold
So
on one
why
second. Hold on
saying
one
the
second.
border and how
I
many?
just have to mute
Oh, gotcha.
EJG for a second. Um,
The I felt like the information that I was getting, because the information that I was getting from news and articles, what have you, wasn't giving me the full thing, which I'm sure it's difficult to get all the information into, a 4-paragraph article, or to get it in a 60-second, 120-second video. So, I went down and started looking at that, at what the Border Patrol was saying, to kind of get it away from the people maybe on the positive side or more biased for Trump, right? So I wanted to get it from Border Patrol. I live on a border state, so I'm well aware. I'm Mexican myself. I have family in Mexico. I'm like second
so
generation Mexican.
if you
So
could, what
yes,
is
sir.
the issue at the border?
Oh no, it was not an issue. I was
Well, what
asking.
is the situation at the border? How do you assess it? Is it a problem?
It's always
Is it
been
a
a
threat?
problem.
Is it a crisis? Because that's the word that people keep using. It's a border crisis.
Yeah, I feel like it's a hot topic now, but in
Yeah,
my 40
it's only a hot
years.
topic during election years. After that,
Oh, always, yes, yes,
after the midterm elections in 2022, the mainstream media dropped its border reporting by 60%
of
because now
course,
nobody was voting, so they didn't care.
correct. So, but we still have to live through it. Again, as I was saying, it's always been a problem. I lived on a
But what is it?
back
What
when I
is
was
the
younger.
problem, though? I don't have time for these long expeditions. Just give me what
Roger,
is the problem
Roger.
at the border as you see it.
As I see it, it's we're not allowing Border Patrol to do what they need to do. From what I saw as a kid to
Right.
now,
And so, do you know the bill that the Republicans shot down? The bill that Republicans shot down. What was it going to do for the Border Patrol agents?
what was that? It was going to add 1,500 more Border
Right.
Patrols. Was that the
Do you
right?
think that
And
would have been
then
helpful?
do you know what else it was adding? What else was in that bill?
No, it was first
'Cause that's what I feel like
shot
people
down
pick and
because
choose.
of the
Like,
excuse of the funding that they later passed anyway. And even when it was reintroduced as a standalone bill, it got shot down. So forget about what else was in that.
well, that's what everything is. Not everything. What the media references. What you're referencing is
Just look at the
what
bill.
bill?
You can read these things for yourself. And I'm kind of getting tired of this feigned ignorance. So let me just wrap it up by saying this.
Yeah, yes, sir. I appreciate
There is
John.
no border crisis. Okay.
There is. I live here. There is.
There is a border
There is. You're not
issue.
going to tell me what I
Yeah,
don't and
no,
don't
I don't
see.
care what you see. That's anecdotal. I'm
It's not
going by all
anecdotal.
of the information, which
It's
you
what I see
clearly
in real
don't.
life.
Okay, so now you're going to try to talk over me. So now
No,
you're going to
no.
be muted also. So here's the problem. They don't have enough people. They don't have enough technology. They don't have the extra technology they need for scanning street candy. All right. That's the issue. And the Republicans shot down the bill that would have addressed that issue. And the first bill that Biden introduced within an hour of being in office was a border bill. And the Republicans have fought him for almost 4 years on every bill that has been put in front of them, including the last bill, which was written by a very conservative Republican, and they still shut that down. Okay, so um, you know, there's not a horde of people crashing the border, taking away jobs. None of that is true. It's just an administrative issue. They don't have enough staff and they don't have enough equipment. That's all it is. Okay. But you buy into the notion that the Republican media is giving you that, there's barbarians at the gate, and it's just a silly thing. All right. So I'm going to disconnect you, and I'm going to go and unmute. What do I have to do? What does it say? Microphone is turned off. Okay, I've invited you to unmute. EJG, I had to mute you because you had a lot of background noise going on. Hopefully, I have invited you to unmute yourself. So if you'd like to do that, but yeah, you know, the
You hear
I
me?
see that you're back. How you doing?
Good, good.
What's
Now,
on your
my
mind?
I mean, I heard you talking and stuff about the border, but that's not really why I would choose my candidate to vote. And then I express his feelings to everybody that's a parent, and I get a lot of pushback. But when the government talks about taking care of children and they need more money for childcare and this and that, do you know that also pays pre-K? That pays for that in
Mm-hmm.
kindergarten. The government does. So
Right.
I have two sons. One of them is 5, and the other one is 3. And since the government funds it, the government tells them to read stories about LGBTQ people, and they bring in LGBTQ people without the parents' consent.
Okay.
And this is in Arkansas.
You're gonna. I'm dropping you. This conversation is ridiculous. Once people start getting into these rainbow people issues, it's just so pathetic. It is a non-issue. There's nothing going on. No one is harming anybody. No one is indoctrinating your children. You're all just paranoid. Anyway, oh, it is EJG says bums for Harris and bye. Oh, you're saying goodbye to me after I bounced you. How radical. Oh man, ignorance is bliss. It really is. You're focusing on people that are 1% of the population and they just want to live their lives, man. That's all they're guilty of. Just living their lives, right? So yeah, Clappy Dem Ching Chang Chikes says Kamala is done, my guy. Oh, please explain that, Clappy. Come on up and explain that to me. What do you mean by Kamala is done? Because that could be perceived as a threat. I don't think that's how you mean it, but you got to be careful with your words. It's not paranoia. California has laws that take children away from their parents that don't agree. That is just ridiculous, Patrick. What are you even talking about? Can you come up and explain that? I'm certain you can't, because that's just a ridiculous thing to say. But I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to listen. But this paranoia about people that just want to live their life, they have no effect on you. They have no effect on you. If a boy is in love with another boy, what do you care? Why do you care? So a couple of Bible lines. There's more written about the evil of eating shrimp in the Bible. In Deuteronomy and Leviticus, there are paragraphs devoted to how eating shellfish is an abomination, which is punishable by unalivement, by the way. Anytime you see the word abomination in the Bible, they're referencing a thing that if you're guilty of it, you have to be unalived. All right. So you're telling me that eating shellfish, that all the words devoted to the evil of eating shellfish is doesn't bother you, but a couple of lines that are kind of obscure, that's what you're going to hang your hat on? Come on, man. It's ridiculous. No one's bothering you. Why do you have to bother other people? Why do you constantly have to get involved in other people's lives? Why are Republicans obsessed with what goes on in other people's bedrooms and in the privacy of their own relationships? I don't know why, but I can't get my voice clear today. But whatever. So Old Gray Rook writes the word nope in all capitals. All capitals are only for moderators and hosts, so there's no reason for you to be using all capitals. But what does nope mean? Old Gray Rock? Why don't you come up and explain it? I bet you can't. I bet if you come up, you will do no better. Because, it's funny. I love the MAGA hats and dump supporters that come up and pretend that they don't know anything. They do this at every live. Oh, I don't really know about the issues. I don't really know. And then suddenly they start spewing right-wing talking points, And, oh, the border is this. I live at the border. I know people at the border. I see them coming over on unicorns every day, and they're eating cactus, and they're, all these wild stories. And they come on and they speak quietly so that they don't seem like frothing idiots, you know, and they try to appear reasonable, but meanwhile they're saying ridiculous things. If you don't know who Donnie Dump is at this point, you are being willfully ignorant. I don't know any conservative that cares about what people do in their bedroom, really. So why are they trying to stop gay marriage? I like to ask MAGA which period of time is referenced in again, and they can't answer. Yeah, I know. I've been bringing that up. The funny thing is that there's two things about the slogan, Make America Great Again, that I find interesting. One is that it started off in the 1930s as Make Germany Great Again, maybe the 1920s. Make Germany Great Again. Okay. So that's for starters. And secondarily, if you say make America great again, you're saying that it isn't great now, and you're also saying that it was great at some unspecified period. And I will challenge anybody to go from 1492 to 2024 and tell me when America was great. You won't be able to, but the challenge is there. Let's see. Dad's Rads has joined. Hello. Old Gray Rock. That is what I thought. What? I don't know what you're referring to there, but Old Gray Rock, come on up. Come on up and speak your mind. It's easier than typing. You don't have a lot of characters when you can type. Sometimes people don't know what you're talking about. Only you know what's in your mind and what you're referencing. But when you write who is, and that is what I thought, I don't know what you're talking about. I love how you invite people on to talk. I don't see a lot of people doing that on here. Well, the lives I listen to, they're always inviting people on. And I listen, to mostly people that are Harris supporters, but sometimes they don't want anybody on except Dump supporters. I've seen people try to go on that were supporting Harris, and they're like, no, we don't want to talk to you right now. We'll talk to you at the end, but right now we just want to talk to Dump supporters. I see that all the time. And I enjoy those. I enjoy listening to the nonsense that comes out of these MAGA hats' mouths. It is quite hilarious. I don't know why, but I cannot get this frog out of my throat today, but that happens sometimes. So I think I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you all for all the likes. If you want to do one more round of tapping for like 10 seconds, tap, 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 get those likes up. But even though EJG is back, even though I am quick to make fun of the MAGA hats, I don't mind bringing them up and hearing from them. It's just that most of the time they don't have anything intelligent to say. They're just blowing a lot of hot air. They hear something on Fox or Breitbart or Newsmax or OAN or one of those channels, And they're like, oh yeah, that guy talking on television sounds smart, so he must be saying the truth. So I'm just going to repeat it. I'm never going to look up anything. I'm never going to I'm never going to try to find out if, what's true and what's not. I'm just going to keep repeating these points. And, because I mean, these people have been repeating the same talking points for so long. And it's like, how many times do you have to debunk this nonsense? Democrats equal censorship, and you living baby, I think you mean unaliving babies. Why wouldn't I vote for such things? Please tell me how many books the Democratic Party has banned. Walk before run. You won't be able to because it hasn't happened. But the Republican Party in several states has banned books. So what censorship are you talking about? So I think that's it. Dump, this week was really, really bad for Dump. I mean, this guy just gaffe after gaffe, uh, several losses in court. Jack Smith recently released over 1,500 pages of evidence against him. And it's funny because if it wasn't for the Supreme Court, and I'll say Supreme in quotes, right? If it wasn't for the Supreme Court and their horrendous immunity decisions, that information would probably have not gotten out before the election. But even though they were trying to help Dump, they actually hurt him, because now people are going to be able to see all the horrible things he's accused of and all of the witnesses and, all that kind of stuff. I mean, you're not going to see literally every word of it because some of it is redacted. But I mean, it's bad news. And, Kamala is outperforming him in just about every area. The swing states are still kind of close. They go back and forth. But when you look at likely voters, all of the numbers are in Kamala's favor. So anyway, that's it for now, folks. Thanks for participating. Thanks for all the likes. Thanks for the gifts. Peace, love, and granola. Talk to you soon.